Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 10K to $2 million funding challenge, sponsored by Bespoke Funding Program. It is Tuesday, August 29th, 7 a.m. New York time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Glad y'all are back. Hope you had a great day yesterday. We are watching price move today, man. We are almost completely out of drawdown, looking to get back into profit here, ready for August to get done. Looking forward to see what September, October, November, and December bring us for the rest of the year. And yeah, we're back in the tree stand today, man. Hunting those trophy buck A+ setups. That's what we are, Venators. So welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Red Ezekiel Trading Night. Adrian Cisco, Michael D, George Tucker. You guys are first up, man. Glad you're here. Still expecting lower prices. Still feeling bearish on euro dollar and pound dollar here. So I'm looking for entries that could align with our overall objective here to get short. So I am looking for some displacement through old PD arrays and looking for fair value gaps inside. And so we'll see what the market gives us today. You could say that this is a breaker. There's no real clear displacement here. I would probably rather look to the left and look for displacement. Either get a run back up into this area, take out these highs and displace, or just say, either this or this or this or this, something in here to be displaced through before we get a real clear. We did have a run of this old swing level right here. This is London. We kind of dipped in, came back up, took out that old swing level. Also, you could say this was actually a really nice play on euro dollar as we displaced through. We took out highs a couple of times. We didn't get above yesterday's high, which is I had said I didn't think we would get back above Friday's high. We did not take out Friday's high on the dollar or the euro or the pound. No. So this is Friday's high. Yesterday was an inside day. Euro dollar yesterday was also an inside day. We took out yesterday's high, and I still think we're heading lower here. And so I'm just looking for some kind of signal or opportunity to get involved here. And it could be as simple as this breaker right here. Could be as simple as that breaker. Last down closed candles before we ran into liquidity. You could see if you jump up to the 30-minute, here we are, last minute, we ran liquidity here, come up, and now we're starting to displace through. So we'll see what happens. We do have some news coming out at 10, which I am fine taking a setup if we can get in before that. Totally fine with getting a trade in and knocking it out before the news hits, or at least be close to break even. So we'll see how this 15-minute candle closes here. But we may have a decent little setup going, working for us here as we get into our Tuesday trading session. Again, here on pound dollar, you can see down close, run liquidity, and we're starting to displace through. So we may have a potential setup here as well. I would probably need it to be something like this, I think. But we'll see. We've got this hourly candle has just opened, and we're not getting like true displacement yet. That's the only down thing. It's very choppy still. I don't want to just fall in love with the trade setup right as soon as I get on the chart. Sometimes it happens If you've watched the stream at all, you know that it's rare that we get into a trade right as soon as the stream opens, but sometimes we do. But if it doesn't check off all the boxes, we'll just sit and wait. Not a big deal. We are not in any kind of hurry to... we're not just here to push buttons. We're not here to... we don't live by FOMO. We don't trade by FOMO. We have a very set plan and a very set way that we identify our setups. And if they are there, we take them. And if they're not, then we let them go. But my anticipation is looking for lower prices. So I'm just waiting for where that liquidity grab is going to be, displacement above it. Liquidity grab, displacement away from it, and then find our fair value gaps sitting inside. And hopefully it doesn't just chop around. Hopefully we can see that trophy buck walk out, take our shot, and put another trophy up today. We'll see. But Daz, good morning. Xanity 3, 2 minutes will be hard to achieve because of the 2 million will be coming change. Yeah, Bespoke put out some updates yesterday. Kaylor, the CEO, did a space on Twitter yesterday talking about some changes where they're lowering their max allocation to a 2-step challenge to $1 million. So kind of puts a kink in the whole live stream title. The channel is Venator Trading, but the actual live stream is the $10K to $2 million funding challenge. Now, technically, you can still get $2 million in funding, but you can only purchase up to $1 million, and then you can scale up to the next $1 million. So technically, I could still leave it. It would just make the journey a lot longer. So I may just change it to 10K to max funding challenge. That's what it was when we started. 10K to max funding. Doesn't have quite the same ring. Or just change it to 10K to 1 million. $1 million is still a freaking lot of money to manage and trade with. So I wasn't thrilled about that news. Oh, I wasn't thrilled about it, but it's still $1 million, and still a heck of a lot of money. Sorry, I was just checking a message that was coming in. Still a lot of money to manage, and still a great firm to work with. I'm not disappointed in the firm. I'm more just disappointed in the fact that I have all this equity in 10K to $2 million funding. And then they go and change their prop firm rules, or not their rules, but just their max allocation that you can purchase, and throws a whole wrench into the whole thing. So is what it is. They're getting rid of the 1-step challenge completely. They're doing away with it. No one uses it. It's a waste of time. It was a horrible idea. Traders that do 1-step challenges are just, something's not right in the head to take a 1-step challenge. The drawdown is so small. The profit targets are still large. The leverage is so tiny. It's more expensive. It just doesn't make any sense. So they're getting rid of the 1-step challenge. My guess is they're going to institute a 3-step challenge or something. I don't know. And then they've got some other updates coming. They're trying to shake up the prop firm. Each prop firm is out there right now trying to build something. They're trying to come up with some challenge or offer or unique selling proposition that's going to put them ahead of the other prop firms. For a while, it was no time limits. And now that's an industry standard. And so we'll see what the next thing is. I do not have access to that information, even as a trading partner. I do not get to sit in behind the scenes and listen in on their business meetings. But we'll see what they have in store. But I'm sure it's going to be very enticing and rewarding for the traders who can be successful. So let's see. Aussie dollar is super clean, man. Well, we didn't pick Aussie dollar. Y'all chose UJ yesterday, so we'll go over and look at Aussie dollar. Oof. It's kind of nice, isn't it? Looking kind of nice. I mean, we needed this candle to close, but yeah, potentially you could have a nice little setup here. I would just be inside this fair value gap, probably up around here, and I'd have my stop above the body, and I'd have my 2-to-1 there before we get to this buy side or sell side liquidity down here. Not a bad setup on Aussie dollar. Oh boy, let's see what's going on. At Cisco, Kaler said yesterday on live stream that the max capital be decreased to 1 million. This morning's given me 1 loss, 1 win, so a decent start to my trading week. All right, did he say why? And they're lowering. Mostly just to become more in line with industry standard. $1 million in max capital is still well above the industry standard of 300, 400K. There's a couple firms that give you 600K. Lark Funding, I think, is the only other one that offers $1 million. And so they're just getting more in line. It wouldn't surprise me if they bring it back down the road as other firms continue to increase their max capital, but mostly just to, and they'll still give you $2 million through scaling. But other firms are 300K, 400K, 200K, and 600K. So they're still well above the industry standard. So they were just trying to come more in line with industry standards there. Took a sell on GU earlier today, and I'm hoping for more sells. Good job, Trader X, man. What's your bias? I'm bearish on foreign currencies against the dollar. I'm looking for sells. I still am bullish on dollar. I still think we're coming up here and then eventually into this volume imbalance and then eventually into these relative equal highs. I think we're gonna head up there. There's no reason for it to come back down. I don't think we get back below Friday's low here. So as we continue to make higher highs, if we can get some clean displacement through some of this area, just leave behind a nice little fair value gap. That's what I would be looking for. GU's not leaving one behind right now, unfortunately. EU as well is not. So maybe we get another pop up into these highs here. Potentially pop up into these highs, take out and displace lower, and then head lower from there. So just waiting and watching. Aussie dollar does look pretty clean though. UJ, you can see on UJ we've just been climbing up. Or GJ, sorry, this is GJ. Just this slow grind back up. We're inside this volume imbalance currently. We have completely closed it in. I would still be anticipating higher prices for GJ and UJ. UJ has taken off, left behind quite a bit of a displacement leg here. So if you were looking at UJ, what would I be looking for? Well, potentially you've got this breaker here that you could work off of. And you've got several imbalances inside of here to work off of as well. I would probably want to see it come back down into this level here. And I would still have my stop below the bodies of the last fair value gap. And that's how I would look for a UJ play there. if you want to be safe, you could drop it under this 30-minute wick. But you're just asking your trade to do a little bit more work for you. But not out of the question at all. And if you're using the 30-minute, I would just stick with there. I think I would just stick on that 15-minute. These last two up close. Sent price down lower, lower, lower. We're displacing through. We have closed above, and now we're just looking for price to rebalance some of this inefficient price delivery here. So there is your, I'm going to put, I meant to put Aussie dollar up on this screen, but I had chosen the wrong one. Keep that up. So we didn't get any kind of displacement through here on EU. We didn't get any clean displacement or follow through on GU, unfortunately. So nothing cooking. Nothing cooking yet this morning. We're going to need to see some more confirmations, and it could just start running for lower liquidity here, and that would be unfortunate. But we do have several different order blocks that when they get violated, they become breakers, and we might be able to get involved at some point. Let's see. I can still get to 2 million. You're right. I can still get to 2 million if I add in other firms before they make the change. I think at some point today, they would still honor the max allocation of $2 million. So I thought about just buying the rest of the allocation in challenges and just parking them. And then as we passed and got funded or payouts, then we could add them back in. But that felt kind of scammy and slimy to me. So I'm just like, you know what? The stream isn't there yet. And so I'm not going to assume that I'll be fine with that and have all those accounts sitting there. So I didn't do that. I'm not going to do that. Now, if they come to me as a partner and they're like, hey, you started this, and so we're going to let you do 2 million, but we're not going to let anybody else, I'm not going to argue with them. I'll let them do that. I will for sure take advantage of any favoritism I can pull, being a sponsored partner. So we're still a long ways away from that. We got to get out of this freaking drawdown right now and start racking up some profits. That's what we need to do. So that's the main focus, is just A+ setups every single day. I don't really care what my drawdown amount is. I don't really care about really much of anything other than just executing my trading plan. That's all I'm focused on. The profit and loss, the percentage gains, the passing challenges, the stacking accounts, the getting payouts, all of those things take care of themselves if you just focus on trading your A+ setup. That's it. I have no desire to sit here every day and take a trade. I don't care. I have well moved beyond the desire to just take a trade. I have moved beyond that. I don't give a crap about whether I'm in the market or not. I only care about if my setup is there. That's it. That's all I care about. Kaler said that people don't trust their company because Bespoke offers more than the competition. They are very often called scam because of the max allocation, and that was their decision. They have been getting, they're like, hey, why are you so far out ahead of where everyone else is in the industry? Like, you're like 4 times higher than the max allocation all of these other firms offer. Why is that? And so they're trying to just remove suspicion, I guess. And that's one way they can do it. It's still higher than anyone else. Still higher than most firm, well above what most firms offer. But they're not a scam, man. I mean, they have paid out millions and millions of dollars. They're not out here scamming people. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Eurotrader they put up yesterday, Ryan. Great interview, great trader. You should definitely go watch it. Dude, by 24 years old, had I think he said he went from 10K to 3 million, and then blew it all by the time he was 26 and started over. So, I mean, geez, can you imagine having nothing, starting with 10K, growing it to over $3 million, and then blowing $3 million? The psychology wound and trauma and PTSD that would come from that. That's brutal. I don't know how you come back from that. I mean, that's brutal. What's up, Beeswax? Welcome in. Cisco, all right, makes business sense for sure. Morning, all. Sorry, Mr. Alfie's. The laptop was still on his bank holiday yesterday. Didn't want to start. Those bank holidays, man, they'll get you if you're not watching. Sorry, I'm scrolling back through the chat. I know I'm behind. Is stream buffering for anyone else, or is it just my internet being dodgy? Not buffering for me. Seems fine here. Mine's awful. Thought it was my laptop. I just refreshed. It's fine now. I think YouTube streams today are bugging out. Oh, that's weird. Seems to be working on the one that I have over here. I always keep the stream up live over here, and everything seems to be fine on this end. Love to see the viewer count going up. Yeah, I mean, we crawl up and down. So, of course, when we're doing giveaways, we're in the 50s, 60s, 70s, kind of constant viewers. But I think we're living in between that 30 to 50 range pretty good right now. By the end of the stream, we will have around 200 viewers each time that come in and out. But we pretty much consistently always have between around 30 to 50. So y'all just hit that like button and it does help. You could buy as much as you want with them, but you will only be allowed to have $1 million live at any one time. Well, if you buy it now, they would let you, and you didn't have to pass it all today. But if you have already bought a maximum allocation of $2 million and you at least started trading like a micro lot or whatever, he did say they would honor that, but you only had like 24 hours to make those purchases. And I just decided not to do it. I'm not confident we have the high of the week put in yet on EU and GU, so I haven't looked for a trade yet. Could be, man. I'm still feeling like, I mean, we could take out Friday's high. If we do, there's some other imbalances on the higher time frames above it that I would be looking for. But I don't think we need to go back up there. Quite honestly, I feel like it's just experience and the way I kind of see the market. We failed to take out the high after pushing up, and now we're just coming back down. So same on DXY. We made a push yesterday to get down below. We couldn't do it. I think we have very clear buy side liquidity above us that's going to keep pulling price up here in this volume imbalance initially. So I think we're just going there, man. It's just kind of that's my analysis. No reason to cheat the system. To me, the point of the stream is to show how to be disciplined and consistent. The actual max amount of capital is irrelevant in that sense. Just made a nice title. Yeah, it's a little clickbaity title. It's a good title. But there's equity in that brand now. There's equity in the 10K to $2 million funding challenge. So 3 months of equity, which is not by streaming standards, we could change it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not just sold out. I'm sold out to demonstrating how to get max funding. That's what I'm here to demonstrate how to do. So 100% Cisco. Watching the Eurotrader interview this morning, it's good. It would have killed me to lose millions. Me too, man. I don't know how you, other than the fact that you know that you've already done it, that you can do it again. But to have 3 million and then just not have that anymore, you know what? I mean, just think about what it would look like to open up your bank account app right now and see $3 million sitting in there. The confidence that would give you, the security, quote unquote, security that would give you, the way that would, the freedom feeling that would have, and then it's gone. Oh my gosh, that would be brutal. Yeah, Saeem, they have reduced it down to $1 million. I need friends. Do you look at gold by any chance? Only when I hate myself. We do look at gold occasionally, yes. Good morning, David Dreams. Welcome in. Man, I hate that I failed the challenge, so lost that money. Never mind millions. Not just 1 million, but millions. Yeah. Oh, God, that would just... I mean, what a freaking comeback to do it all, to blow it and then make it all back. So, I mean, props to him. He's a great trader. Good dude. He trades just the 4-hour time frame. So he swing trades. He'll hold trades for days at a time. Not my style, but still a great trader. Coming into the 7:30. And not much clicking. It's a nice little setup here on US 30 where we grab some buy side liquidity there. If you had used that as your breaker block and the fair value gap inside here, you would have needed, if you took this US 30 trade, you would have needed to have your stop up above. I would have had it above the wick here. And, you know, as it gets down into this fair value gap, I would probably want to move to break even. If you were, it's set up on US 30, it's a setup on S&P, and it was a setup on NAS. NAS did not get triggered in. S&P would have gotten triggered in right here, almost a sniper entry, and probably close to TP at this point, and US 30 as well. But we may get another opportunity. We may get another opportunity to participate in these moves as well. So we'll just watch and wait with the indices. Indices, I don't really like to look for anything until after the 8:30 open, which is another hour from now. Aussie dollar kind of running away on you there. And euro, pound, and dollar. Dollar is got some strength. And euro and pound just don't show that same willingness to capitulate here. Dollar rising, taking out these highs. Euro not taking out these lows. So that's very interesting. GU is weaker of the two. You might be able to get a 1 hour play here on GU. Could be something like that. Still targets these old lows. You might be able to get an entry there. We'll see how this hour candle closes. If this hour candle closes and can close outside of this breaker, then I would consider this position right there. Even though it's not on the 15 minute. I like to see it on the 15 minute, but it's a very clean setup on the 1 hour, and there's no reason not to take this same setup just because it's not on the 15 minute. If you go up and it cleans everything up, and there are clean fair value gaps on higher time frames. Also a clean order block here. So on the 10 minute, there's a nice little fair value gap sitting right in the middle here too. But I would prefer now to see this hourly candle close outside. That's my preference on GU. On EU, it's just a sloppy mess right now. There's just nothing clean or pretty about any of this price action currently. ICT Hispanohablantes SP nice breaker taken around 6 a.m. Yeah, that's the one we were just looking at right there. If you had taken this down close candle about halfway through, about 50% of that, would have been a very nice trade setup here. Probably would be moving to break even if we can get down into these lows right here. But yeah, that's a very nice breaker setup right there. You have your last down close candle before you took sell side liquidity. Obvious fair value gap inside. I'm targeting 50% of that, almost a sniper entry. Very little drawdown right there. Just a beautiful setup. I love trading these breaker blocks, man. They are so clean and can give you just chef's kiss entries, man, when they work right. They don't always work right, but they work about more than 50% of the time, which is what we're relying on completely 100% here. The edge in the market that this strategy gives us is very clean. AU will fall without us or what? It could, yeah. I mean, it looks like it wants to just kind of take off here. Again, you may have another opportunity though. You could use potentially, if you get displacement through here, you could use this breaker setup. You do have a nice little fair value gap here. Getting back up that deep into this order block now may be a little bit of a big ask for AU. Pulling back that deep into that order block, you could potentially just look for an entry right at the breaker. The problem with that, or at least the risk you assume with that, is you've got to keep your stop in the same spot, which means now you're targeting these lows down here instead of these lows up here. So it's not that you just are going to, if you stick to the 15 minute, you may not get that deep of a pullback. When you look at the higher time frames, this 1 hour order block that's being created right now could be exactly where it wants to be respected, which lines up with just kind of basically touching the bottom of this 15-minute breaker candle. And once it touches it, that's going to fill in the 1 hour fair value gap. It's also going to touch the 1 hour order block, and then it could send price lower from there. So you have two different ways to look at how you want to trade breakers. I prefer to trade them getting a deeper pullback and getting those sniper entries like this, and the ones that you've seen here me call out on the live stream multiple times now. Those are the ones I prefer, but you definitely can just trade the straight up breaker, like just touch the breaker and leave. You're just going to have a wider stop and you're going to have a bigger TP. So bear that in mind, and it's all about your tolerance for how you want trades to play out. You're going to be in this trade longer than you would be in this trade. Right? So this trade is probably going to play out pretty quick, and you're going to be able to get your answer on whether you were right, wrong, or break even pretty quick, versus this trade, you're going to be in it for a minute. and you may have to make some tough decisions by the end of the day, what you want to do. You may want to decrease where you move to break even. Instead of 1.5, maybe it's right around like 1.25 or 1 to 1. So it just changes things for me when I look at breakers like that. So UJ, same. You've got obvious displacement higher now on UJ. For it would have to, if it comes back down and taps in, it's going to be a massive reversal here, which would almost make you think that this is a liquidity grab just so we could go lower and target some of the sell side liquidity. So not really digging this one anymore as far and fast as it's run behind or run ahead. I would not be super interested in this setup here working out. I would much rather see GU and EU stop messing around and then get going. A lot of Aussie red folder banker speech at 8:40 UK time, so that could be the driver of AU. Yeah, likely. What's the weekly pair? Weekly pair is UJ. Voted on yesterday here in the chat. UJ is the chat pair of the week. Bullish on UJ, and we were just looking for some of this sell side liquidity to get run before we took off, but instead it's just taken off. Is breaker block not just the same as a break and retest? Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, break and retest is more a structure-based, completely structure-based, market structure-based. Breaker blocks can not necessarily be clean break and retest. Most break and retest traders are going to want to see a significant level broken and then a test just up into these wicks. Breaker blocks don't have to be down here. They could be here. They could be here, a change of structure. It doesn't have to come all the way back up into an order block or an OTE. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can define what a breaker block is. There's a lot of ways you can define what support and resistance is, or break and retest, or breakout trading, or they all have their different ways. Everyone has their different ways to define what they're seeing. And you have to decide what's the terminology I'm using, what's the language I'm going to speak when I sit down to trade. And it needs to make sense to you. It needs to be clear to you. Whether you call it break and retest, whether you call it a breaker block, whether you call it an order block, an optimal trade entry, a fair value gap, an imbalance, a head and shoulders, a doji, whatever, trend line, I don't care, whatever it is. Everybody sees it just slightly different and can explain it in their own kind of how they were taught educationally to define what they're seeing. So, but yeah, there are some similarities, and sometimes it looks like a break and retest, and other times it doesn't look like break and retest at all. So, especially when you consider where I put my entries and stop losses. Trader Mike's system looks similar to breaker block, but he uses OTE. Yeah, Trader Mike's a great trader and very simple. He uses basically support and resistance with a little bit of ICT stuff with fair value gaps, OTEs, those kinds of things. Very simple. I'm telling you, the more simple your system is, the more likely you're going to be able to consistently repeat executing it at a high level. So definitely, I definitely think that it needs to be mechanical. Most traders who are failing need a fairly mechanical system with as small amount of discretion needed to get into a trade. Every system there's going to be some discretion needed for you to be able to identify a setup. Like, for instance, on on this strategy, I need to see a grab of liquidity. So discretion is was there a grab of liquidity and was it sufficient? Well, we can clearly see a lot of buy side liquidity here. We've stabbed up into it. We're starting to see displacement away. So the discretion is was this a quick stab in, and then did we get displacement away? Well, technically, yes, we did grab buy side, but we haven't had an aggressive move away. It's just kind of slowly trickled back down. So the discretion side of this is, does this fit my trading plan? Am I comfortable? Getting into a trade here based on this, how displacement away from the liquidity grab looks right here. So that's discretionary, right? So there's some level of discretion in every single trading system, no matter what system you're trading. But the less amount of discretion new traders can have, the better it's going to help them overcome some of their issues right away. So again, what I'd kind of like to see here, since we didn't get displacement right now, is run some of this liquidity here. That would be my ideal scenario, is we tap back up into here in above these highs now, and then we see price. So tap into some of this buy side right there. Then see displacement away, and we could use one of these candles here as a breaker setup. So again, my preference here on the 1 hour setup on GU is to see this candle close outside of this breaker block, but we'll just have to watch and see what price does as in the next 28 minutes or so. But this could be a decent little play on GU this morning for us. UJ, again, I've already said, if it's going to come back down and tap it in, this is going to be basically a liquidity grab, which you would, if it's going to make this big of a V move, a stab up and a stab down, typically you're going to anticipate another run below some sell side liquidity. I would not be looking to get involved in that. I want to see, when price displaces like this, I want to see it come back down after one of these two candles right here. I want to see it immediately come back, give us an entry, and then take off. When it just shoots up straight, the likelihood that it comes deep enough for me to get involved is going to signal a reversal more than a continuation. I do still like this Aussie dollar setup, though. This is looking kind of nice here. You're getting the closure here on the 1 hour time frame outside of yeah, this is, I like this. Pretty clean, especially on a 1 hour. The problem is, again, for me, I would probably want to, if you're just trading a straight breaker slash order block slash fair value gap setup, this is the 2022 mentorship model. We've run liquidity. We've had a change of structure. There's a fair value gap left behind. That's your 2022 mentorship model setup right there. But we'll see if GU plays nicely for us here. Again, I'm in no rush. We still have a lot of days to trade this week. There's nothing driving us just to push buttons and watch, just to be in the market. There is no pain that my brain is telling me you should be in the market, get out of drawdown, take a trade. People want to see you trade. Just take a trade. Like, you got to fight all that. We're here for the long game, man. We're here to play the long game. I'm waiting for news to determine the bias direction. Good, man. That's a great plan to follow. And if we're not in an entry, Before like 9:15, 9:30, I'll probably just step aside and wait until the news hits as well. But with it being this early in the stream, if we can get a setup, I would definitely participate in one. I think break and retest would be propulsion block or mitigation block. I forget which it is. A breaker needs the liquidity grab before the break. Correct. That's the main difference between a break and retest is you're looking for true breakers need to grab liquidity away from your bias. So if you're bearish, you've got to see a liquidity run into old highs, into liquidity on the bullish side. You need to see this run up to get a breaker. Otherwise, it's just, this swing gets broken. You're in a trend, right? So once this swing gets broken, you're waiting for price to come back up and retest, which it does right there. It is filling in these fair value gaps and this order block right there. Retesting this old swing. The thing that I like about the ICT concepts is the specifics. The entries, the exits, those kinds of things are just super clear to me with the ICT smart money concepts, where there seems to be a lot more discretionary decisions that need to be made apart from that with traditional retail. Same says I will not trade until the drawn liquidity is clear to me. Another good, very clear rule to follow, and stick to your guns, man. Do not trade because I say there's a trade set up. Do not enter or not enter because I say to do it or not to do it. If you are in that S&P trade, beautiful setup. If you're in that S&P trade, you should definitely be at break even. Save it the US 30. Oh, got the yawns going today. About 10 more minutes left on this 7 o'clock candle here. And then we'll just have to see. This candle here, this 30-minute candle opened without a wick, or opened and has put in no lower wick there. It technically dropped a pipette, not even like a tenth of a pip. So I guess legalistically, by the law, it did drop one pipette, but when you look at that candle, there's no wick there. So I'm saying that's a no wick candle. Oh. Trading Night says only one good trade per week or per month is well enough for me. That's 100% accurate. If I can be one profitable trade every month, that's 4R for me. And 4R is more than enough to have financial freedom. When you're trading $1 million account or a $2 million account or a $5 million account, and you can make somewhere between 2 and 4% every month, you're going to be just fine. Just fine. More than fine. GJ ripping higher here. Do I see any kind of setup here? I mean, not super clean. You ran liquidity here, and then you've chopped. I mean, potentially you've got these 4 up close candles right here. There is a small little fair value gap back down inside near the bottom. Close to 50%. The 30-minute makes more sense to me. Last up close candle, liquidity, picking up orders, displace away. Potentially something in there on GJ. Could be something like that. I'd probably want to use the down close candle body or wick there, which is still plenty of room to get tagged in before you even fill in the rest of this imbalance here. AU dropping pretty good. Dollar is just not wanting to continue higher here. Tapping into buy side, just super rangy, super rangy right now. Kind of disgusting to look at, quite honestly. And unless this hourly candle, again, closes outside of this breaker, it's failed to displace below this low. If in the next 8 minutes we can't get a closure near the bottom or below this breaker, I'm not going to be interested in that setup there. So we'll just have to continue to wait. Venator, what's your thoughts on using indicators, patterns, waves? You don't need them. I do not trade with indicators. Indicators are lagging. They are not. Current price action is market structure. Price action is all you need. Just the candles on your screen. I know that there are people who use indicators to help them refine entries and such. That's fine. I know there's people that are probably making a lot of money using those. It's just not how I like to trade. I have been down the indicator path. I have gone through the months and months and months of trying to find a certain sequence of indicators to use to help me find a trading strategy. And, now that I have the mindset that I do, maybe it would work. Maybe it would work because I understand probabilities. I understand statistically how I should be trading and how I could execute a mechanical strategy. But in my opinion, it's very retail minded, I guess. Not that we're all retail traders. So I'm not saying that if you don't use indicators, you're not a retail trader. We're all retail traders, all right? We're all the liquidity for the central banks. We're just trying to be in line with the central banks more than we are anything else. And to me, indicators are not as helpful and accurate. People use indicators because they want certainty. That's why you use indicators. If I can just find the 3 indicators to put together with the exact settings that I need, then it's going to show me exactly what the market wants to do next. And indicators are just another way to view the price action and the market structure that's on your screen right in front of your eyes. So I stopped using them. I'm not against people using them. If it helps you, then use them. If you have a good strategy that needs a certain indicator on your screen for you to be able to identify your setup, then you should use that. But I'm not a fan of them anymore. For instance, I have this breaker block. This is a breaker block indicator that shows you exactly where the discount is, where the breaker block was, whether it failed or, and it doesn't even get all of the right ones. Like it's just, it doesn't even identify them correctly, even future ones. So they're not that helpful. You can see it all. Once you kind of know what your A plus setup looks like, you don't need lines on the chart. I don't need this box on the chart. I can see it very clearly. I could just take this off. I could take that box off and I could have this off and I could just go, oh, well, we've run liquidity right here. This was the last move up or last move down. We're getting displacement through there. I'm going to target 50% of there. Is there a fair value gap? There's one right there. I could just, bam, there it is. I'm going to put my stop above the highest breaker. I'm going to target 1 to 2, and there's my setup. I don't need to draw the box out and see the breaker and see the fair value gap. I just see it. I put it on here now because we're live streaming, and I'm trying to help people understand why I see the setups the way I do. I don't have all of that stuff. If I was just trading by myself without anything, without live streaming, I wouldn't have all these markups on the screen. I'm just trading price action. I can just see, oh, we ran liquidity. We ran these old highs. Now we're displacing through. Where did this liquidity run start? Right here. Bam. Very nice little check mark right there. And now there's no good clean fair value. There's one up here, but that's not super clean to me. So that's kind of my take on them. I don't use them, but I'm not going to blast people for using them. I understand why people use them. I also think that they're looking for certainty that they're never going to have in the marketplace. They think if I get the right set of indicators on my screen, I can, it's gonna do all of the analysis, quote unquote analysis for me. Now all I have to do is push a button. And that's never gonna happen consistently. September and October, they definitely start picking back up. September for sure. Once August is done and we're almost to the end of it. We've already started moving here towards the end of August. The first 2 days of this week might be slow. We are coming into the end of the month, and so, that could be a little bit of a slowdown as well. But September, definitely October, November, you typically start to see pretty good trending movements again. What's up, Duck Toon Lou? Welcome in, man. September should be significantly a better month. Absolutely. Kai, good evening. Welcome in, buddy. We would definitely all be millionaires if trading were that easy. If it was just getting the right amount of indicators on the screen, getting the right sequence and the right settings of indicators, then we would all be millionaires. I just stick to what the price is actually doing in the moment. What has it done most recently? Where was the most recent liquidity grab? Where was the most recent displacement? And can then I get in? Is that in line with my bias? And then can I participate? That's it. I try to keep it as simple as I can. Man, if you guys could hit that like button for me, I would appreciate it. I know there's about 40 of us in here watching this right now, and it does help push the stream out to other people. So if you could click that like button, I would certainly appreciate it. I don't ask anything of you guys. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your loyalty, and I'm grateful that you're here, because without you guys here watching and in the chat asking questions or talking or giving your comments, this would be more boring than it already is. And believe me, I understand how boring it is. Sitting here watching a guy do nothing every day. 90% of the time I do nothing. I just sit here and flip around between charts, and ramble. And then occasionally Kirby shows up and we get to troll Kirby for a little while. So dollar is still gaining strength, and you're just not seeing the follow through here. GU just opened. How did this hourly candle close? Okay, so this hourly candle closed back below this breaker. So I am still very much in favor of getting an entry up inside this fair value gap right here on GU. I still like this. I like this a lot. I think I'm going to go ahead and set this up here. And on the 10-minute time frame, you do actually have this really nice fair value gap on the 10-minute time frame right in the middle of this. I'm going to probably, I think I'll probably go right there, put it at the bodies, and that's, we could bring this up to about something like this. So I like this setup on GU. And I'm going to set this up on my MT5 here. If this gets triggered in this hour, I'll leave it. If it gets closer to the news, the job opening reports, I'll probably kill it. Now let me get this set up. Let's see, we're going GU, the hourly. Let me get this going. Move my mic over here so while I'm talking it out. All right. GU. Oh, where's my, what happened to my, there we go. Drop me some lines. I'm going to put that right there. What is that? That's like, that's fine. Yep, I think that's what I want right there. Going with the sell limit. Come on, here we go. And so what I'm doing here is 25997. So my entry's there, and my stop is 26159, and my TP is 25652. So right there. There we go. That's my trade setup. Copy that out. Put it on the Twitters. Stop is 1.26159, and my TP 25652. That's what I'm looking for, and we're good to go. I'm going to check my other, get this up on the other fundeds here. Perfect. There we go. And then one more. Here we go. All right, all set up. And now we're back to waiting. So this 4-hour candle is going to close in this last hour. So what we're anticipating is this 4-hour candle just to close, whatever it does. Open, wick us in, maybe fill in and retest this lower wick here, and then continue to drop down. So that's kind of what my anticipation is here. On the 1 hour, I'll just break this trade down for anybody that's watching real quick. We've had a run of liquidity. So we've taken out these highs. We're displacing back through. This run of liquidity began with this down close candle. We had a down close. We had a move up into liquidity and displacement away. We've traded through that with a fair value gap left behind. A very clean fair value gap. This is on the 1 hour setup right here. This is the unicorn. The fair value gap nested inside of the breaker block. So we've had a shift in structure, we've had displacement through, and we talked this all out on the stream. So we're anticipating price to come back up, rebalance this fair value gap, and then continue lower towards sell side liquidity here. So that's what we're anticipating here for price to do on GU. EU is just not clean at all. There's just super chop. It's just not moving super clean here. GJ is fine. It's doing its thing. There's a small little, perhaps little breaker here, up close, run liquidity. Not a super good clean run of liquidity. There wasn't like a specific low. It did take out some of this here, and then it's displaced higher. And then UJ, of course, is just run off, shot to the moon. Aussie may still give you a nice little entry there. We'll just monitor that. This is a nice little data point here for observation. But I do like, I am a fan of this setup here. Do like this setup here on GU. So we'll see what kind of action we get on it. And just as a reminder, do not take these trades because I'm calling them out. You should take these trades because you understand the system. You see the setup that you see. As I said yesterday when I spoke with Bespoke this weekend about how they view copy trading and me calling trades on my live stream, as long as you're not solely taking my trades, if the only trades you take on a challenge or a funded account are my trades, they will ban you. You have to be trading on your own. They want independent professional traders trading their funds. So they understand that if you use my strategy, you're going to see the same setups that I see. And you could be very well taking the very same trades I'm taking, because that's, we all see the way the market moves, and probably at any one given time, half of their funded traders are bearish on GU, and they're all going to be looking for entries to get short on GU. And so a lot of people are going to take very similar trades, but they can tell, they can see every trade I take. They can see my entry, stop loss, and TP. And if there's 10 other people that the only trades they ever take are Brad's trades with the exact same entry, exact same stop loss, and exact same take profit, it's very easy for them to identify you're just copying. You're not actually trading. You're just trying to game the system, basically. So you can take my trades, but if that's all you're taking, they will ban you. So keep that in mind. On any of the setups that I call out, please make sure that you are trading your system, and you should be taking other trades. Watch other pairs, whether it's Aussie dollar or dollar Swiss or EJ or gold or whatever it is. You need to be trading your own trades. You've got to get to a point, and that's my goal for you. My goal for you is to get you to a point where you don't need me to sit here and stream and call out every single setup that I see. I'm doing that to demonstrate how this can be done over a long period of time. And I'm trying to be transparent with everyone and show that when after it's accomplished, they're all going to be able to go back and look and watch and see exactly how I did this, all called beforehand. There was no hindsight. There was no manipulation. It was all done live in front of the world to see for free. So those are the two main reasons I call every trade that I take: transparency, accountability, and to help you guys get to where you're wanting to go. So, all right, 8 o'clock hour is opening up and kind of tanking. We didn't get back up above those highs, which is unfortunate. So we're going to be looking left and saying, where did this run of liquidity begin? Well, it's very choppy. We'll see what kind of fair value gaps get left behind and how they might align with some higher time frame areas that could have launched this up. We'll just have to watch and wait. So, and for me on this trade, as long as we don't take out, I'm probably going to identify these lows in here. If we can come back up and get an entry before we take out some of this liquidity, then I would probably leave this trade on. Obviously, Friday's low. I'm still looking down here as our overall draw of liquidity for GU. So we have a long way to run. And we'll just have to see what happens. I'll make the decisions as we go, I guess that's the best way to say it. I'll just watch and see what price is doing and then make my decisions from there. Trading Night says, unfortunately, I could not hit like more than once on YouTube, but I would have clicked once a minute. I appreciate you, Trading Night. That's very kind of you. Trading Night, how you won the 10K, didn't you, buddy? How's that account going? Emmanuel Bada, the views are increasing. Views are coming up. Not getting some nice displacement, correct. We are getting some nice displacement there. Just need, this is where we're going to need the dollar to find some, after it grabs some of this buy side liquidity, we're going to need to see the dollar retrace and find some weakness back down into these areas here for our trade to have a chance to get triggered there. Or we'll look for a setup on EU potentially here on the higher time frame. Break even so far with my 10K challenge. Break even's a great place to be, man. For me to be back at break even or slightly into profit after being in drawdown for so long is quite an achievement as well. We were 6% down, and to claw your way back to break even, what does that mean? How much did you make to get back to break even? You just made 6% to get back to break even or above profits. Maybe you're 2% in profit. That's 8%. You just passed a challenge. You just made enough profit to pass a challenge. If you were 6% in drawdown and then you can get to 2% in profit, that's an 8% gain. So all of that to say, anytime you can claw your way back out of drawdown, you should be extremely proud of yourself and your trading skills to be able to do that. So definitely, break even is a very good place to be. What do the news headlines say? We haven't looked at news headlines in quite a while. U.S. dollar improves early Tuesday ahead of busy data schedule. Pound dollar sterling sinks below 100-day moving averages. Falling inflation fails to boost demand. Dollar ticks up ahead of busy data week. Yen under pressure. Yeah, it's just, I don't care what the headlines say. I just watch price action and market structure, draws on liquidity, higher time frame bias. Let's just try to Move where the ocean is moving. Where's the ocean? Where's the wave coming in next? And let's try to ride it. The reason why I'm in doubt about direction here on EU is because we didn't get any manipulation on midnight open price unless downside all day is the manipulation. Could be. But you are having a Tuesday, could be your high of the week. 75% of the time, Monday and Tuesday, you get the high of the week on EU and GU. This is Friday's high. And that's it. That's all you got. And you did get a little bit of manipulation above the midnight open. Here's your midnight open right here. You opened right there at midnight, came down, dropped up, popped above it, took out yesterday's high, took out midnight. And now, so you have your open, your high, your low, and then your close somewhere. So this is in line on GU. EU did not get that same manipulation, but GU did, which could be SMT. You don't necessarily need it. So, and then same with dollar. Did not get that midnight true manipulation below midnight, but you may not need it. Again, you may not need it. You did take out yesterday's high or yesterday's low, popped below it, and then now you're riding higher. So this could be the high of the week here. We leave behind Friday's high. We just push back up slightly on that weekly open and then drop. UJ is just going to give you no chance to return to reality here. GJ might. GU is falling off a cliff. So again, if we look at, just to draw this out, you've had a run of liquidity. Where did this run of liquidity begin? You could say it began with these down close candles right here. On the hourly time frame, we had down close, run of liquidity. We're starting to get displacement back through these lows. So if you were to just identify that breaker right there on the 1 hour time frame, we'll see how this, we're inside of this 1 hour time frame right now. So obviously draw on liquidity is last week's low. And then below there, way down here, a lot of room to run lower. The question is, will we get any kind of pullback? And trying to see here on the 30-minute, where would I look? Nothing there, super clean. And the lower you go, the choppier it gets. Maybe here, down close candle, we chop. Yeah, it's just nothing. It's so ugly right there. I think you just have to stay with the hour. So we'll see. GU. Orders are set. So we'll see what happens there. This is the 4 hour candle, 4 hour time frame, 40 minutes left on it. Preferences is it leaves some of this sell side liquidity here and kind of closes back up with a wick, and then the next 4 hour candle opens, comes in, taps this in, and then takes out the low of this 4 hour candle. And hopefully this 4 hour candle doesn't just tank down here pretty aggressively. That's my hope anyway. That's my hope. Displace and close below this low, so leave the body below here. Headlines are a waste of time. Yep. Could argue it's S&T, yeah. Basically, one needed to and the other one didn't. So again, you need to be convinced on your chart in your own mind. Don't just take my analysis. Don't just take my interpretation of what I see. Because it's not necessarily accurate. You need to be convinced. On a 1 hour time frame on Aussie dollar, you can see we've had a run of liquidity and we're getting displacement. Where did this run of liquidity begin? Began right here. Last two down close candles before we ran liquidity and we're getting displacement through. You do have a nice fair value gap being created. So something like this is what you would look for on Aussie dollar as well. If it's going to fall off, you immediately begin to look. You go to the higher time frames, you can see how much it cleans it up on the higher time frames instead of looking for an entry back up here, which it still could come back up and do that. Look on the higher time frames and you can clearly see all of the relative equal highs and the buy side liquidity, these old swing levels that it reached up into, and then we get an immediate rejection away. You get a stab up above liquidity and then you get your immediate rejection away. And once you get this displacement, you're expecting price to come back up, just rebalance, and then continue down. So higher time frames, when it looks not choppy and you're like, oh, I'm not going to get my entry on the 15. Well, look at the higher time frame, and now you can be like, okay, well, in the next couple hours, what's likely to happen? It's likely to come back up, tap into this fair value gap and this breaker, and then continue lower for the sell side liquidity objectives down here, which perfectly line up with a nice 1 to 2 RR. Dollar's just cranking out. Could be one of those days, man, where you get the breakout with no retrace. That would be unfortunate. On the 4 hour, there's also an inverted fair value gap on GU. Talking about this, tapped right up into it. This fair value gap, you would have expected it to hold price up, I guess, is what you're referring to, Felicitas there. Reached right back up into it, and then it's pulling away. Oh, you were talking about GU. Sorry, I was on EU. Talking about right here. This fair value gap you would have anticipated if price was going to remain bullish would have held price up. It did not. And so inverted fair value gap right there. If price comes back up into it, you would expect price to hold it down. Me too, Michael. I hope I get a winner as well, buddy. Would love to see it. It looks like dollar's just gonna aggressively leave. It's just gonna hop on that train and get the hell out of town. Hey, look at you, Jay. That's crazy. The daily draw on liquidity is going to be this swing level and this swing level, obviously. So it's aggressively pursuing that draw on liquidity. Aggressively. My goodness. Red, I had said if it takes out this sell side liquidity here, these targets, I'll cancel that order. Probably this low here is the one that I'm. Friday's low is the ultimate target here, so I think we're gonna reach for Friday's low. But you can see it's taken out all of this trend line liquidity there. Any trend line liquidity traders have been liquidated at this point. Swing low traders have all been liquidated. Anybody that was long here from Friday's low, they're getting liquidated all the way down through here. Here come the pups. Hey, babe. Well, we're not going to get swerved, but I definitely think we're going to end up canceling this order here. Again, we can be right on the bias, we can be right on the drawn liquidity, and we can just not get a trade because price just never gives you the pullback that you need. So you can do everything right and not make any money. Be patient, wait, identify. You can even set orders, and then you can still just watch price leave without you. Which it appears it's trying to do. Dollar still hasn't taken out Friday's low or Friday's high there yet. So I'm gonna kind of leave this here for now. Not gonna cancel this just yet. We could get a pullback above this high here to rebalance that a little bit. Alpha Bridge says, hey guys, Dollar CAD also runs for that previous high today. Crazy, I just closed my long. Didn't we have Dollar CAD as a chat pair? That's not what I needed. I thought Dollar CAD was a chat pair a few weeks ago. Not a clear entry here on Dollar CAD for me, but yeah, it's running for Friday's high as well. Which lines up with a bullish dollar sentiment. You would expect higher prices on Dollar CAD here. What is an inverted fair value gap? Sorry, I know fair value gap, but not inverted. So an inverted fair value gap is a failed fair value gap. So on the daily time frame, for instance, we've talked about, like on DXY here. This is, let me pull up to the daily. It's right here. So this is a failed fair value gap. So we had anticipated this fair value gap once it has been traded through. Once a fair value gap has been violated and traded through, you would anticipate those fair value gaps to act as inverted fair value gaps. So here you would anticipate price come up into this fair value gap and then retrace and act as resistance to push price bearish. But once it's violated and traded through, when it comes back to this same fair value gap, it's now inverted and will act as a bullish support to push price higher. Here, you had this fair value gap. As price came up into it, you can see that it pushed price away from this fair value gap to hold price down. Once it gets traded through right here, as price comes back down into it, it becomes an inverted fair value gap. And you would anticipate price now acting as support off of this fair value gap to push price higher, which is what it's doing. So an inverted fair value gap is just a failed fair value gap. Now that price is grabbing some sell sign liquidity here, it's liquidating orders. There's all kinds of buy orders and stop orders and limit orders here underneath these lows. You would anticipate a bit of a pullback here, which is exactly what we would need to see. So I'm still going to leave these orders in place here. Look like Jim Carrey? I've never had anybody tell me I look like Jim Carrey before. That's interesting. That dude looks like a cartoon to me. I don't see the resemblance. I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I think I've been told I look like, who's the guy? This guy, what's his name? Yeah. I've been told I look more like this guy. Matthew Fox. He was on the show Lost for a while. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Any good looking dude that you can compare me to, I'll take it. So. Tom Hanks? Are you kidding? No. No. Dude, Tom Hanks, you're crazy. Not even close. Not even close. Brad Pitt. Definitely not Brad Pitt. There is zero resemblance to Brad Pitt. I promise you. Look, there's just I mean, maybe nah. Look at his jaw, man. Like, that dude's got a jaw of steel. I do not have his jawline at all. And Tom Hanks, why in the world would you say Tom Hanks? I can't even type. What? Are you kidding me? Why would you say I look like Tom Hanks? It's not even anywhere close. Not even anywhere close. Keanu Reeves? Again, not even close. No. John, dude, this guy. This dude's badass. That dude is so freaking cool. Carl Urban. Who the hell is Carl Urban? Do I know who this is? Oh, from The Boys? No. I love that show, though, The Boys. That's a cool show. I like that show. Dude, man. That dude's ripped. I promise you, I do not. That is not my physique. Not even close. Not even close. Almost Human. I love that show too. Almost Human was kind of cool. I mean, again, look at this jawline, and then look at my jawline. It's not even close. He has a square face. I feel like I have a very more like kind of like diamond shaped face. I don't have a square face. Cool dude though. I like him in The Boys, man. That's a fun show. Ernest P. John, I can always count on John to bring the trolling. I think this is probably a much better resemblance, quite honestly. I mean, when you actually consider it, I mean, yeah, I got the hat. My ears aren't, I don't quite have the ear structure or nose structure, but, I definitely got the nerd dork structure. He's got a very, like, look at his expressions. Like, they're so animated. Like his face just looks elastic, and I definitely don't think I have an elastic looking face. That's funny. I think that Matthew guy you said is closest resemblance from the ones. Yeah, I do too. I think Matthew Fox. Matthew Fox is definitely the closest. I think still. Definitely think Matthew Fox still is the closest resemblance. I mean, we're pretty much the same person, I think. Brothers from another mother. I used to wear my hair like this too, buzz cut. It's pretty more, it's a lot longer like it is here right now when I don't have my hat on. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty close, man. I think I could pull off a Matthew Fox doppelganger. Pretty dang close. Don't have that physique. You put a hat on this guy, that's basically me. That's basically me if you put a hat on that guy. Matthew Fox in a hat. Come on. There's got to be. Here we go. Look, there we go. Same person. Tell me that's not the same person. That's the same person. Of course, he's wearing all these cowboy hats and fedoras. No, who wears fedoras? What are these even called? What are those little like UK Englishman hats up here? What are these called? You UK hat guys. I feel like that's a UK thing. We're gonna stick with Matthew Fox. Hey, Vern. Yeah, definitely not Michael Huddleston. I look nothing like ICT. That's 100%. Oh, come on. You guys are all trolling. He could be my stunt double because I'm definitely not going to be doing his stunts. That's for dang sure. Getting a nice little pullback here on our GU entry, leaving behind the Friday low here still. So that's kind of nice. I like to see that. Pulling in buy side. This is going to be a bear trap here. People are going to be like, hey, we're heading short. Bear trap territory here. And all of you support and resistance in what is it? Not support and resist. Supply and demand. All these supply and demand traders buying down here at the supply zone. Or demand zone, whatever it is. I don't trade that. This is a bull trap here. People are going to be buying, expected price to take out these highs, and it's not going to do it. This 4-hour candle is going to close with this bottom wick. The next 4-hour candle is going to open and put in a top wick, come back up into this order block, and then it's going to liquidate all of this sell side liquidity. All right, what else we got going on? Nothing else. Couldn't see the hat properly. Oh, it's the hat that I was talking about. Yeah, it's like the little flat. It's like a flat hat. What I don't even know what they call them. Like a golfer's hat, golfer's flat hat. I don't know, what is it called. What is this called? Yeah, this thing. Driving cap, a golf flat cap. What's the proper name? Newsboy cap, ivy cap, flat cap. It's whatever these things are. What do y'all call those? I don't know. Is there an official name for that? Flat cap? Flat caps, I guess is what they're called. I don't know. You don't see them in the U.S. a lot. I feel like you see them overseas more than you see them over here in the U.S. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just a cultural assumption I'm making, but it's a Kangol. Oh, really? It's called a Kangol? That's what it's called? Flat cap? If I type in Kangol, I guess it is called a Kangol. Kangaroo hat? Kangol's the brand, I guess. The official Kangol. So it's a British clothing company famous for its headwear. So Kangol's the brand, if I'm saying that right. But I guess it's a flat cap, is just what it's called. The newsboy cap. I feel like they're popular overseas more than they are here in the States. Gosh. Emmanuel asks, how do you handle perfectionism in the quest to be perfect on your plan, following you then fall short following it? I don't really think about it as perfectionism. I just think about, are the parameters for a trade present? If they are, I take a trade. Did I get a run liquidity? Did I get displacement away? Is there a fair value gap inside of a breaker? If there is, I just execute the trade. And I know that more than 50% of the time, I'm going to be right. And a little bit less than 50% of the time, I'm going to be wrong. And I don't care about the outcome of any one particular trade. I care about the outcome of the next 100. So really, it's just keeping that long-term perspective in focus at all times. Not being worried about the result of the next trade I take. Did I follow my rules? That's the only perfectionism I'm worried about, is did I follow my rules? If I did, then everything's good. We're golden. If I didn't, then shame on me, and I need to do a better job of following my rules. S&P finally hit a full TP there. If you grabbed that entry here, it would have been before the 6 o'clock hour outside of my kill zone for indices, but some of you may have taken that. They're called Tom Brady's Shelby hat. Oh, not Tom Brady. I don't know why I said Tom Brady. They're called the Tom Shelby hat. Tom Shelby, is that the dude from Peaky Blinders? They're mostly worn by old men in the North or hipsters in the South. Oh, well, we definitely don't want to be part of the hipster movement, do we? John, only 3 hats are acceptable. A ball cap, MFA cap, bucket hat, cowboy hat, and in that there are 2 in the list that only certain people can pull off. So bucket hats are cool. I've worn a bucket hat or 2 in my life. You're by the pool, or I've seen football coaches pull off bucket hats pretty good when they're out there on the field, just kind of keeping the shade off. Cowboy hat, of course, definitely is always a good go-to. I've never watched all of Peaky Blinders. I started watching it, and then I kind of lost interest. But my wife finished the show and absolutely she loved Peaky Blinders. I got lucky quite a bit when she was watching that show. What's the dude's name? The lead character? The actor, not the character, but like the actual actor, definitely has a big crush on that dude. I don't remember his name either, but she likes that guy, and he's in a new show, Cillian Murphy. Yeah, I don't even think he's that good looking, but I guess it's just like the show itself, like his character, you know. She's like all about some Cillian Murphy, man. She is all about this guy right here. I don't get it. I don't think he's that good looking, quite honestly. He looks like his eyes, there's something wrong. Like what's going on? Is it the plastic surgery? Like here I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good looking dude. And I'm not, I'm definitely straight white male. But I can recognize when there's a good-looking guy on the screen, like, obviously. But then you look at a picture like that, and you're like, really? What? That he looks like kind of gaunt. But then you look at him in Peaky Blinders, and you're like, all right, okay. I see it. So it's just weird, because sometimes you see him, and you're like, man, that guy looks like just doesn't care about himself. And then you see him in other shots, and you're like, okay, definitely can tell he's a badass, right? But yeah, she big old crush. After watching Peaky Blinders, she's like, give me Cillian Murphy now. I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name right. Fedora. No, I can't do fedoras. Can't do the fedoras. What do I have this morning? What time do I need to get out of here? Oh, we got time. We can stay on for a little bit here this morning. We'll see. The 4-hour candle's about to close here in 5 minutes, and it's setting up really nicely for us, I think, to get an open, high, low, close, open, high, and maybe we can get a nice little sniper entry here, rebalance some of this larger candle that we're leaving behind, leaving open, get up in here into that fair value gap, wick us in, and before we tank would be my preference. We may not do it though. This is the Euro opportunity in play. I'm not That's a 4 hour. On the 1 hour, it doesn't look as clean to me. But potential. GU looks a lot cleaner and a lot more. I like this setup a lot better here on GU, so I'm gonna leave it. But EU on the 4 hour is setting up pretty nicely here, where you're getting this run of liquidity, displacement below, fair value gap halfway through the breaker, et cetera, et cetera. You know the deal. I don't like it as we get lower into the time frames. It gets messier, choppier. But the 4 hour is pretty clean. 28 days later, as I liked him in Batman Begins. He was kind of cool in Batman Begins. 28 days later, I know I watched that. I don't remember him being in it. Well, I guess he was. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, just a couple more minutes here for this candle to close out. And man, I was kind of hoping we'd get a little bit of a deeper pullback there, but it's fine. I was hoping I did want to close below this wick, which we're doing. I would have preferred it to close up a little bit higher here, but it's fine. We'll still leave it as long as we have this sell side liquidity down here that we don't tap into. I'm okay with leaving this entry order where it's at. 28 days later was a cool show. I liked it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but that's a pretty cool show. He's the main character. It's been a while. I said it's been a while. The Virus movie, man. That was in 2002, bro. That's like 21 years ago. 21 years ago, I was, let's see, I can do math. 27. And I was living in North Carolina and had 3 of my 4 kids 21 years ago. So it's been a minute. I can barely remember what happened last week, let alone 21 years ago. So loads of virus movies. It was one of the first. Like pandemic. 2002, man. A group of misguided animal rights activists free a caged chimp with the rage virus. From a medical research lab. And when London bike courier Jim wakes up from a coma a month later, he finds his city all but deserted, on the run from zombie-like victims of the rage. I know you can't see this, or I mean you can't hear this, but I can hear it. Well, I guess that is him. He looks so different to me. It does not even look like the same guy, man. I need to go watch this again. Hmm. Man, I can't stop coughing. My allergies are bad today. I couldn't watch Peaky Blinders as I couldn't take it seriously because of the Birmingham accent. Well, I have no idea what you're talking about there, but I think there's a lot of people here in the States that don't take people with Southern accents very seriously. I don't know if that's the same thing as a Birmingham accent, like the way that you guys approach that, but like here in the States, if you hear people talking with a Southern drawl, you just can't. They sound kind of dumb. And they sound uneducated. People just, I think they just don't take people with Southern drawls very seriously here. The Southern accent of the States. I got to join a meeting, so catch up later. See you, Cisco. Bernard Tan news didn't do anything much. Did we have news? I thought it come. Is it 9 o'clock? Comes out at 9. I think it comes out at 10. Right? Yeah. Still got another hour for the news, I think. The composite 20 HPI year over year. I don't know what that is. It says it's red folder news, but yeah, I don't buy it. The consumer confidence and the JOLTS job openings at 10 are going to be the more aggressive news events for the day. John says, I had a calculus 3 professor that had a Southern drawl. He did not sound stupid. I can't imagine listening to calculus in a Southern accent. There's got to be something on YouTube about it. X equals MC squared times parentheses over the derivative of the P minus half pi r radius of, I don't even know, I'm just making crap up. It's a similar thing. Shame, as I've heard, it's really good. I did close the sell limit trade, but then opened it again. Uh-oh. Opening and closing. Just follow your rules, man. I just saw some chat with the CEO of Funding Pips. I think in the future we are not going to be allowed to copy our trades between prop firms because of scammers and hackers. That would be sad. Well, for the longest time, copy trading was banned pretty much by every prop firm. Unless, like, you couldn't copy in from unless your master account, like they would let you copy trades on multiple accounts from the same firm, but they would not allow you to copy trades from other firms across. Like their master account always had to be with that prop firm's account. So maybe it goes back to that. I think there will always be some firms that allow copy trading just as a unique selling proposition for their firm to stand out amongst, the competition, so to speak. So yeah, who knows? Things are going to change. There's definitely going to be a kind of a big prop firm war, quote unquote prop firm war, I think, in the next few months, as prop firms really kind of start vying for more market share and setting themselves apart as one of the top firms in the industry. And to do that, they're going to have to introduce some new incentive or challenge or product for traders to jump on board with. And so it's going to be real interesting to see over the next few months exactly how that plays out with these different firms, because right now the playing field is extremely leveled. They all basically have the same product, they have the same parameters, they have the same payouts, they have the same pretty much everything. Instant account credentials, good customer support, consistent payouts, high reviews. They've got the two-phase challenges. They've got, some are introducing custom challenges where you can build your own challenge, and then you pay a premium depending on what parameters you want. So if you want a bigger drawdown amount and a smaller take profit, it's going to be a lot more expensive versus if you do kind of the standard, 8 or 10% phase 1 and 5% phase 2 with 8 or 10% drawdown. That's going to be just your basic. Being able to purchase more drawdown, I think when you're in a challenge, could be an interesting concept. Either resetting your account for a cheaper fee or just purchasing a larger drawdown amount once you're in drawdown. All of those things I think are viable options that you could see firms introduce into the ecosystem, the prop firm ecosystem here. So we're just watching and waiting now. Cillian Murphy seems to hang. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? I don't. Brad Handouts does not know how to interpret that. Cillian Murphy seems to hang dong a lot. What does that even mean? Drop his balls on things? I don't. What are you talking about? I have never heard that phrase before. I'm so hesitant to hang. Hang Dong is a district in Thailand, the Hang Dong Municipal Food Market, John. The Cillian Murphy hang out and eat at the Hang Dong Food District in Thailand. Is that what you're saying? Urban Dictionary. Oh, God. Urban Dictionary. Hang Dong. To expose one's penis. Charlie, it's like the biggest movie in America. D. Plus, I hear the guy hangs dong, and I'm very interested in seeing that. Another example. Do you hang dong while on the trolley? The act of publicly exposing yourself. So are you saying like he just walks around like showing people his penis in public? Is that what you're saying, John? All right, because that's the only thing that makes sense, and I can't believe you would bring that filth into this live stream. Come on, John, you're better than that. Copy trade ban would affect people who max out different firms. It would. You would just have to set up different trade copiers. You would have to, if you had 3 different firms, you would have to have 3 trade copier master accounts, and you would have to set orders on each of those, and then they would copy down. So it's, it's not the end of the world if they ban it, but it definitely would put a kink in a lot of plans for sure. I'm glad I can provide some comic relief from your trolling. Still liking this Aussie dollar 1 hour setup here. Nice little displacement through. Beautiful fair value gap. Again, it looks like the dollar is just wanting to not give us any relief. The GJ trade almost came back down to this little breaker right there. Rebalancing this fair value gap. Dollar just looking like it wants to take out Friday's high pretty aggressively from here. No pullback offered. That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So it's 8:15, 9:15 a.m. 9:15 a.m. And we're getting into that. We're approaching the number one, even if it doesn't take out sell side liquidity, we're approaching the red folder news, the job opening numbers, which I'll probably, I don't know. I may just leave this here. I used a euphemism. If you ever wonder what anything means, you're going to find the most disgusting version of it on urbandictionary.com, if you didn't already know that. But I'm pretty sure you're calling Cillian Murphy a public exposure criminal. I'm not sure he's ever hung dong in a movie before. I may be wrong. Did he do it in Peaky Blinders? Did he hang dong in Peaky Blinders? Maybe that's why my wife loved that show so much. Not sure. What's up, Bakong? Welcome in. All right, that's enough penis talk. I'm going to clean this back up, get it back on track. My apologies to all of you for diving into the gutter during the live stream here. We will we'll put John in timeout for making us all have to suffer through that. Basically, yeah. Sorry, Bakong. Do not, whatever you do not go back and rewind the last 15 minutes of the live stream. You're not missing anything, and you'll just take my advice. Just delete the last 15 minutes of the live stream. Not worth your time. Oh, I'm definitely not going to stick around on the stream for another 45 minutes. Probably I'll stay on for maybe another 10 minutes here. PG-13 destroyed. Yeah. Hey, I definitely click. This is not for children. This is not for kids under 18 years of age. I make sure that is selected on my live stream settings. This is not intended for young audiences. And definitely not today. Thank you, John. John, I was thinking about giving you a free account. I was just going to message you say, hey, man, I'm going to give you a free account. You've been in here forever. Active member of the stream. You need a prop firm challenge. Not anymore, man. You just lost it. You lost your chance with the Hang Dong comment. We're just going to start calling John Hang Dong Jones. How about that? That's John's new name in the stream. John Hang Dong Jones. Do I see a buy in dollar CAD? Not yet, I don't. There's nothing super clean here. There was no real good run of sell side liquidity here for me. I mean, this maybe you could say we ran some sell side and then displaced, but for the dollar CAD to get in a buy, it's going to have to dig back in pretty deep here. And I would probably just wait for a cleaner setup. John wishes. Yeah, I bet he does. I bet your wife does too. Oh! Oh, God, I hope there's no female traders on here. If there are any female traders on here, please come back to the stream after today. Do not hold what John is saying in the chat against me. Please do not. I apologize profusely for John's behavior this morning. H, just you can just get off the stream, man. It has fallen off. The train has left the tracks, and you woke up. Go back to sleep. Just go back to sleep, man. It's a nightmare in here right now. You don't want any part of it. Oh God, Lily, are you a female? Is that Lily Wang? Is that a girl? Is that a lady? I'm so sorry if it is. I truly am. On behalf of all of the Venators in here not named John Jones, I profusely apologize and please come back. We will not talk about penises tomorrow. John, my behavior? What are you talking about? I'm trying to get this thing back on track, and you keep bringing it up. All right, we'll stay on till 9:30, and then the best thing we could do is just put this stream out of its misery, I think, at this point. How did we get here? God, Cillian Murphy. See, this is what happens when you bring Cillian Murphy into the conversation. It immediately falls apart. This is why that guy has no business in my life anymore. This is what summer market does. This is all we have to talk about. The market's crap, so all we have to do is talk about Cillian Murphy exposing himself. That's what we've lowered ourselves to. Click the like button if you are entertained. Yeah, what are our likes up to? Is this the most liked stream of all time for Vintage? No, it's still on 7. I see 7 likes. Is that right? Is it up to more than that? I only see 7 likes. Maybe it doesn't refresh live. I see 7 likes. Is it more than 7? That's your vote. That tells you everything you need to see. 31? Is it really 31? 33? Why don't mine says 7. I need to refresh. I don't wonder why. I guess it's just not live updating. I guess I actually have to refresh. I don't want to refresh. It's cool. I believe you. 34. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. If there's 32 people watching, and there's 34 or 35 likes, that's awesome. See, when you people are just disgusting, and showing them how to make money trading is not as entertaining as Cillian Murphy exposing himself. That's the highest percentage you've ever had. It's well over. It is well over. We have more likes than people currently watching this stream. How does that even happen? Oh my God! Oh, Metro's in here now. You don't even want to know. You don't even want to know. It's not okay. We need to put John in timeout, basically. You're welcome. I don't think that's how that works. I do just apologize. Lily never answered me. I think Lily is the only female trader we have. And we probably just lost Lily forever. John, you owe me some more viewers. If all the female traders leave today, you owe me more viewers. I need some new subscribers because I swear to God, we're about to cross 900. And if we wake up tomorrow and it's like back down to 850, I'm going to sick Jim the Wonder Dog on you. I bet she is a fan of Cillian Murphy, and I guarantee you if she left the stream, I know exactly what she's Googling right now. If she's not on the stream, we know where she's at and what she's doing. 901, really? We crossed 900? Awesome. All right, see ya, Mr. Alfie. Oh, gosh. I'm a female trader. I will not go anywhere. Well, at least that's one female trader who hasn't left. So I apologize. I come here for Watch the Challenge. See? Yes, Lily. That's why we're all here. We're all here to watch the challenge. We're not here to talk about Cillian Murphy's thing. She is now. She is now, John. John is the leader of the Cillian Murphy fan club, evidently. And that dude's going to pick up a few more followers on his Twitter page this morning. He's the Peaky Blinders guy. He's the guy that was on the screen earlier that I was showing from 28 Days. Yeah, he's the Peaky Blinders guy. Just Google Cillian Murphy Peaky Blinders. You'll see what I'm talking about. He's not that great. He's not that great. John should be a moderator. No, John should not. John is the last person on the list that I would make a moderator. Absolutely not. Yeah, I don't like him either. We're in the same boat. Dude, that's almost a sniper entry right there. Whoa. Did anybody take this GJ setup here? Anybody take that GJ setup? Really nice. It didn't get triggered in on, if I had taken it, that's where I would have wanted my entry. I wouldn't have gotten it, but it's pretty close to a sniper entry as you could have gotten if you did take it. Yeah, I did. I haven't seen Oppenheimer. I know he's in it, and I heard it's an amazing show. The dad jokes today, man. The dad jokes today. Come on. Daz, I took it. I was a little higher. Still spreads kept me out. That sucks, man. That's the part about spreads. You need both of those lines to get under price, under your entry to get triggered in. That's unfortunate if that's the case. Sorry about that, Daz. So for those who missed the update yesterday, the conversation I had with Bespoke. So we're going to keep all the 10K account challenges. We'll be doing those once a week still. We're going to add in a 25K account once a month. So we'll have the 10K account giveaways every week. And then once a month, I have a 25K account that I can give away. I'm still deciding on how I want to do that, whether I'm going to hand pick that person to get the 25K challenge, or if I'm going to do kind of a actual like giveaway. Still deciding. They encouraged me just to do it as a hand-picked giveaway to someone that I feel like has been active in the stream and loyal in the Discord and all that kind of stuff. Someone that I think deserves it every month to give away a 25K. So I may do that. But they're also going to let me we will be crossing our 100th episode. Our 100th live stream in a row will be at near the end of September. And they're going to give us a 100K account to give away for the 100th live stream episode. So that'll be cool. So all that's happening in the next month. But yeah, everything's going great. You guys still keep using that discount code. Take advantage of that. If you want to use if they have a promotion that is a little bit better than what you can get for the Venator discount code down here, you can use the affiliate link in the YouTube bio. That will also help the live stream out and get credit for that partnership there. So, but that will keep the account giveaways coming on strong, and any other perks that I can try to benefit the community with. I'm going to keep trying to get as many of them as I can. So, all right, a couple more minutes. I'm going to watch here this 9:30 open, and then we'll probably call it a day. Michael D, I'm in GJ buys from 185, looking to see continuation of the upside after this 4-hour open. Yep. I think that's great, Michael D. Michael D, how's the challenge going? Are you on phase 2, Michael D? I think you're on phase 2. Bernard Tan, you now have the opportunity to pick those who cursed you, Brad. I can finally rid myself of the bad karma coming my way by handpicking and giving away 25K accounts to all of those who hate me in my DMs. I can rid myself. The universe is giving me a chance to right the wrongs that I have done against them. What does phase 2 mean? So the challenge to get funded, John, on the Prop Firm Challenge, it's a 2-step challenge. So phase 1 is an 8% profit. So you have to make 8% on profit. And if you make 8%, they move you into the second step. The phase 2 of the challenge is now you have to make 5% so it's a 2-step challenge to get funded. You have to make 8% profit, and then you have to make 5% profit, and then you're funded, and then you can continue to trade a live account. So for instance, I have a 10K funded account. Over here, I've got a phase 2, a 10K challenge that's in phase 2 right now. Yes, God, really, dude? Out there with the weed eater right now? The phase 2 challenge is what we're in on the 10K, and then we have the phase 1 of the 100K. So it's a 2-step challenge, and I think Michael D is in phase 2. He's up 0.5% in drawdown, but it's all good. Yeah, that's cool. The drawdown, so the account resets when you get to the second phase. You start back over with a brand new account. So if you have a 10K challenge, if you make 8%, They reset your account. They give you new login credentials, and you have a new account, and you have to make 5%. The drawdown is still exactly the same. It's still 10% overall max drawdown and a 5% daily max drawdown limit. All right, there's the 9:30 open. Wondering what's going on here on the U.S. indices. Initial reaction was a pump up and then a drop. Let's see how that plays out. See if we get any kind of dollar pullback here. Dollar has not taken out that last hourly low or high. Euro has taken out the hourly low, and dollar did not take out the high. All right, Saeem, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to probably hop off too as well. So that's good enough for me. I'm going to leave this. If this drawdown gets liquidated, I mean, if this sell side liquidity gets liquidated, I'll cancel this order, which it looks like it wants to run down into probably, but it's just one of those days. Price is just going to break out and not give us a pullback there. So, but it's fine. It is what it is. All right, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. New York time. I'll be on Discord and Twitter the rest of the day as well. So make sure you're part of those communities and follow one along. If something changes, I'll post it all online and let you know what's going on. But until then, y'all stay safe. Happy hunting, and we'll catch y'all tomorrow. Adios.